Well, hello, Embers. Welcome back to whatever it is that I do here. This week, as you can see, we're up close and personal. We're going to take this piece of the temperature blanket, and we're going to attach this end of this triangle to this yarn ball. And if you were here last week, I went over kind of quickly how to do it. But this is a technique called, it's like either the Russian join or the Russian knot. And the basic principle of it is we're going to take two pieces of yarn and we're going to intertwine them like so. And then we're going to weave the cut ends back into the string. It sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. It's super easy. It is tedious, but we'll get through that. And currently I can only do it on one, like I can do like one side and then I have to flip everything over and do the other because that's just how my brain works. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a yarn needle. So it's a blunt needle with a fairly big eye. And we're going to use this to get into the ply of the yarn. So that means when you have a ply, you have multiple bits that make up the whole. So like 2-ply toilet paper, if you pull it apart, you have two different sheets together. So in this case, this particular yarn is, and you can figure it out by untwisting it a little bit, I believe 4-ply. So there are 4 strands that comprise this entire piece of yarn. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread the yarn into the needle. Without unraveling the yarn. Ta-da! And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and get it under a ply. And then we're going to get it under another ply. And under another ply. And under another ply. So from here, what I can do is I can untwist and push the needle through a little bit. So what we're doing is we're working the needle into the center of the yarn. And what we want to do is get it through far enough that the needle is covered. So this does take a little bit of time. But it does save you from having knots, like a lot of knots to work with. And it doesn't add bulk, and it keeps you from, helps you keep from having to weave ends in to the work. So when you're going through and using this, your yarn, you might see a couple places in your work where you might see a little added thickness, but not a lot. We just want to keep on going, and you might be tempted to say, oh, well, that's enough. When you think you have enough, go a little further. That just ensures that you have enough space available to pull the end through. So what we have here is our final contraption. We want to keep this steady, pull the other side through as far as we can. Then we want to start working the yarn over the end of the needle. So we want to just keep pulling it down. You can give it a little tug at this side, pull it down some more, hold the yarn that you're not trying to weave in tight, give it a couple tugs, and then you're just going to gently try to work the remaining end through. So once you pull it through, your needle might come off, and you have something like this, easily fixed. Gently tug and then smooth it down with your fingers. So now it looks slightly thicker, but it's a secure connection for the yarn. And then this end you can just chop off. And then you'll do the same thing with the other side. Sometimes what I will do is I will weave the needle in first and then thread it. That way I know I'm getting as close as I can to the other side to have a more secure connection for both ends that I'm weaving in. And sometimes it works fabulously, sometimes I have to redo it. But this, while it is tedious, like I said, it's very helpful. And I only found out about this while I was going through Pinterest, looking for some new stitches to learn or some new product inspiration. There are so many cool stitches that you can find on Pinterest. And sometimes the links don't really lead you anywhere, but you can figure out, like, they're good about telling what the name of the stitch is, so if you needed to, you could Google it or YouTube it. And who knows, maybe if you're on there, you'll come across something and search for it, and my videos will pop up for you. I don't know. That being said, I do not have a business Pinterest. I think having a business Facebook and an Instagram are more than enough for me to handle. All right, so we've got that. We're holding on to the other side. We're gently tugging. And then, oh no, my needle fell. And then we're smoothing out. In this case, this side, I went through far enough to completely hide the end. This one I'll have to trim. So there you go. And you can almost not see where it is. It's almost invisible. So we're going to call that a day. If you like this video, you can hit the like button, which is down here. You can also leave me a comment. You can subscribe. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can join me on weekends on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Blackfire2013. I'll be working on doing deconstruction video streams. I'll be continuing to redo these balls of yarn, and at some point in the future I will start a new project with what was left over from the temperature blanket. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Bye.